Freshman year is coming to an end now. And unfortunately for us, we didn't play good enough to get to the college football playoff, but we are in the Pop-Tarts Bowl versus Army, so this should be a pretty easy bowl game if you ask me. And as y'all can see for this bowl game, I had to switch it up. I had to put some type of drip on because before, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't had nothing on, but hey, it is what it is though. Let's get into it. With this being our last game of this season, there's a lot of people on this team this is their last year, especially my boy Jordan, the slot receiver. So this means there's gonna be a lot changing, but we need to worry about this game that's in front of us right now, this bowl game versus Army. And this should be a game that we should easily be able to take. But at the same time, we don't want to, be too ahead of ourselves because we done lost games that we shouldn't have this season. So we got to stay locked in and do our thing, blow them out like we should. But overall, with this being Jordan's final game in college, Kevin tried to make sure that it was a real good game for him, so he could have a real good farewell game, and, look good going into the NFL draft. And it was pretty obvious what Kevin was trying to do in his game, and the defense started to catch on a little bit. But it really didn't matter because Jordan was real nice with it. And here in the first quarter, I wouldn't get a single reception or a single target, but I really didn't mind it though because I know what type of game this is. And if anything, I'll start getting the ball in the second half. Because right now, Elijah wasn't getting the ball either. It was like Jordan the whole time. But not only Jordan though, also our running back LJ Johnson Jr. Now, he's a guy who really hasn't been balling that much during the season because, the offense just hasn't been centered around the running game at all. But with this being his last game, coach made sure to, put way more running plays in the playbook so that he can get some yards, and he's been doing real good. He actually ended up breaking off for a huge 50-yard run for a big touchdown, probably his biggest run of the year. And let's just say Army just couldn't keep up with us at all. Because going into the second half, that boy Jordan with 3 touchdowns, 150 yards already. LJ with over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was just not looking good. And at this point, them two done sat down because we was already up 35-0. And at this point, I stayed in because I wanted to get some yards too. And I did. Kevin was subbed out the game, but our backup Tyler was in. He was feeding me that rock. Me and Elijah, we both ended up staying in the game, was both getting fed, and we was both going crazy. And it was no matter what we did on offense, everything was working here in this game. And even though we probably shouldn't have stayed in the game for the rest, me and Elijah stayed in anyways. And we ended up scoring more than 50 points in this game. Did them boys dirty, and I don't even think they put a point up. But if you're wondering about my stats, I had 187 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 catches. Man, what a final game of my freshman year. Man, it's crazy how my freshman year ended up going. I thought I was going to end up playing receiver the whole time, but only really got a couple opportunities to really put up stats. And because of that, I ended my season with 48 catches, 621 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Now, return stats wise, to be honest, I don't even want to get into that. Because in my second year and the rest of my college career, I ain't trying to be no kick returner. I'm trying to be the #1 wide receiver in the nation. But first, before we even get into my second year, there's someone I need to introduce y'all to. 6-foot, do-it-all quarterback. Got crazy arm strength, crazy agility, crazy accuracy. He's the perfect quarterback. At least on paper, no glazing. The dude's name is Jordan Jones. He's a guy who previously committed to Oklahoma, but after seeing that our starting quarterback decided that he didn't want to be here no more, either transferring to going to the NFL draft, Jordan Jones decided to, change his commitment and come over here to SMU. And it's actually funny because this dude is actually from Oklahoma. So the fact that he would change his commitment from Oklahoma to SMU was kind of crazy. As also, he kind of has offers from every big school in the country, but he still chose us. But hey, I ain't gonna complain. Because the dude's a 5-star quarterback. He was the #1 quarterback in the state of Oklahoma and a top 10 quarterback in the nation. But instead of just, telling y'all about this, how about I show y'all what he did in the state championship? Now look, first off, this school that he's on hasn't been to the state championship in over 20 years. And the school they playing against is a school that they haven't been able to beat in at least 15 years. And so now, with a star quarterback on their team, they had an opportunity to really come out here, win a state championship, and beat the team that they could not defeat. And with Jordan knowing that, with all that's at stake, and this being his last game in high school, he was real focused, real determined, real locked in for this game right here. And shoot, he showed it. He was out there looking like the dark-skinned Mahomes. But he was a way faster version of Mahomes though, because he needed to be. Now look, his wide receivers aren't amazing. The fact that he got here to the state championship with these mid-wide receivers was crazy in itself. And whenever they wasn't open, he was able to scramble, pick up big gains by himself. And the fact that he was able to use his speed, his agility, and all that to really make defenders miss too, it just made him even more of a threat on the ground. And especially in this game, when the stage was way bigger than it normally was, he was able to show how crazy his arm talent was. Like, he was putting the ball in places that you wouldn't think anybody could really put it at. And the thing is, he had to keep this up throughout the whole game, because it was a close one the entire time. I mean, the other school was not backing down at all. And that's just how it was in the whole first half. But coming into the second half, something changed. Now, I don't know how much y'all believe in locker room speeches, but the way Jordan and his team came out in the second half was crazy, unbelievable. Because with it being a tied game, no defense basically being played, 28-28, coming out in the second half, Jordan and his team got to set the tone for the rest of the game. And he did just that. Now his wide receiver one is a speedster. He doesn't have amazing hands, but hey, he did on this play. Put him on a streak route, and that boy Jordan put that ball right where he needed to for a huge big play touchdown, the first play of the second half. And now the other team had to match it. But when it was their time to get the ball, they couldn't do nothing with it. Because the defense, for some reason, came out there after that locker room speech at halftime like I was talking about, and they was playing real defense, unlike the first half. And that stop was exactly what Jordan needed to really take off in this game. Because when Jordan got that ball back, he was able to pull off an amazing drive. Just straight dimes down the field. It wasn't huge plays like that one before, but hey, like 10 yards, 20 yards every single play. And he only threw one incomplete pass the entire drive. And so they made their way all the way down the field. And an easy run at the 5-yard line to get into the end zone to make it a 2-score lead now. And at this point, you could just hear their fans going crazy. This could be the first time that they win a national championship in over 20 years. And the first time that they beat the other school in about 15. And it'll be all because of Jordan Jones. But the game wasn't over yet. Because now in the fourth quarter, still a 2-score game. But the other team with the ball. And still hoping that they can get down the field and score a touchdown to bring this lead back down to 1 score. And I mean, they was having a real good drive. Got all the way down the field, got into the red zone. But when that field got shorter, things got a lot harder for them boys. And they couldn't get the job done. Took a sack on 4th down, and it was basically game over at that point. Because Jordan and his team with the ball, with just 3 minutes left, up 2 scores, yeah, game over. And in this crazy state championship game, Jordan put up these crazy stats. And well, now y'all know about Jordan, the new recruit to the team. It's time to get back to present day. Now, of course, with it being a whole new year, whole new season, it's going to be a lot of changes happening. As look now, the receiver 1 and 2 is Elijah and then me. And I got my slot receiver role back, which is great because that's why I feel best at. Last year I was at wideout for some time and it was kind of weird, but hey, back in the slot and that's all that matters. Also, most of our offenses changed. You know, we had a couple seniors that now gone, but more importantly, we got a little QB battle going on now. Because look, with Kevin now gone, Tyler thought that he would end up, assuming the starting quarterback role. But with Jordan Jones committing to this school now, yeah, he's going to have to fight for that position. And we're going to see what happens. I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to, get that starting role over a 5-star quarterback. But we're going to see what happens. Now, coaching and organizing this QB battle is a multi-phase type of thing. Now, he knows Jordan has a great arm talent, but Tyler has been working real hard. He's got to show it here. Now, in the first phase, both quarterbacks got 3 throws at all 3 of the levels: short, medium, and deep passes. And since Jordan was a freshman, he was up first. First pass was a slant, dot. Second pass, drag, another dot. And then third pass, in route, of course, on the money. And then it was Tyler's turn. And he did the same thing. Basically, got all 3 of his completed, and now it's on to the medium. Now for the medium routes, Tyler got to start first. And these routes was a comeback route, a corner route, and a dig. Now for the comeback route, it was perfect. The corner route, perfect as well. Got it right there, right where he needed to, right before they got out of bounds. But somehow for the easiest one, the dig route, he overthrew it a little bit. Went a little bit over the receiver's head, but the receiver still caught it, so hey, 3 for 3. Now for Jordan, all these just look natural. Like no shakiness in his throws at all. All the throws on point, right in the receiver's hands, right where they need to be. And so of course, got all 3. But now is when it gets a little bit more difficult. It's the deeper passes now. And of course, Jordan is starting it off. And this is a deep post, a deep crossing route, and a streak route. But not no normal streak route though, because you got to put to the back of the end zone by the pylon, so coach can see who can really put that ball where it need to be at. And well, as y'all guessed, that boy Jordan was putting that ball exactly where he needed to put it, as he was easily able to complete the pass for the deep post and the deep crossing route. And then when it was streak time to put it to the back of the pylon, of course, why wouldn't it be on the money? Dude can't do nothing wrong, no glazing. But now it's time for Tyler to show that he was just as good. And through the first 2 passes, he did just that. A great pass on the post and another great pass on the crossing route. And now it was time to make that pass to the back of the pylon. Tyler dropped back, cocked his arm back, and delivered that pass. And well, that thing was on the money too. And so Tyler and Jordan tied up in the accuracy test. And so now in the second phase, they both got turns with the starting lineup in practice to go against the starting defense and see who does better at reading defenses. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it now. They were going back and forth. I mean, they both are real good at reading defenses. Jordan has always been good, and Tyler has been working real hard on stuff like this. And like, it's funny, I know Jordan was not expecting to come here to SMU and have to fight over his starting spot, but hey, look at him. He's battling, and it's a real good one. It's head to head right now. And like, when I was expecting at least one of them to, be nervous, something, none of them are. It don't seem like it at all. They're both balling out. Both look like they want that starting spot. And I guess it's gonna have to go to the phase 3. And well, phase 3 is in a real game. And they're gonna take turns alternating quarters. And their performance in this game is gonna show who becomes the starting quarterback on the team. So I guess we're gonna see what happens. First game of the season, we're taking on Wake Forest. And in this game, the first game of the season, there's a lot to prove for a lot of people on this team and just a lot that's at stake. Like, of course, first off, we got the quarterback battle. We got Tyler starting in the first quarter, and then, they alternate off from there. But then you also got me and Elijah. And Elijah's coming off a season we had over 1,000 yards and almost 10 touchdowns. He had like 8. And me, I ain't playing enough wide receiver to even get to 1,000. I don't even think I got over 700. But now that I got my starting spot and I'm in the slot now, I'm ready to ball out. And to be honest, to me, I don't really care who's the starting quarterback. Just as long as they get me the ball and win games, I'm gonna be good with whoever it is. And right now, it was Tyler, determined to take that starting spot over Jordan. Now, Tyler's first drive was very methodical. And I didn't hate it because with me being the slot receiver now, he was getting me that ball, like for real. But maybe the drive was a little bit too methodical because it seemed like he was being a little bit too conservative. So he didn't, mess up and look bad in front of the coaches. But this conservativeness started to work against him because even when it might have been time to make a big play, he just settled for the shorter passes, the safer ones. And once Wake Forest closed in on the short passes, they were able to stop our offense. And so Tyler's first drive was unsuccessful. And while the rest of his quarter had a couple good plays in it, it was just mainly underwhelming. Because really, any big play that was made was due to the receiver getting yards after the catch. Short passes turned into bigger gains. I guess you could say he was playing like Brock Purdy or whatever. And well, anyways, Tyler would only get us 2 field goals. So we were down 6-7, and it was now Jordan's turn to finish the first half. And after Tyler's performance, it looked like Jordan had all the confidence in the world. Because unlike Tyler, that boy was out there gunslinging. Now, the passes might have been a little shaky in terms of him being able to read the defense and stuff like that. He might have been a little bit nervous, but he really just needed to, adjust to how college football is. And even though his first drive was unsuccessful, he would start looking way more confident and comfortable in the rest of the quarter. As in his second drive, he looked like a whole new player. He wasn't looking that nervous anymore. It looked like he was kind of adjusting pretty quickly, like quicker than I thought he would. And not only that, he was spreading the ball around. Not only me getting the ball, but also Elijah, our receiver 3, Ashton Cozart, and our new senior tight end, Adam Moore. I mean, everybody was getting the ball. And because of that, we was able to get down the field easily. And he even put up a touchdown, getting it to his number 1 wide receiver, Elijah Meredith. And now, with the second quarter being over with, going into the third, we're up 13-10. And Tyler knew that he would have to step up, or the freshman was going to have his spot that he worked so hard for. I ain't gonna lie, it's going to take a lot for Tyler to do better than what Jordan did. And so, coming out in the third quarter, he would have to extend his lead. And I mean, off the rip, you could already see how much more determined Tyler was and how much more confident he was in the pocket in the third quarter. And it was obviously because of how good Jordan played when he was out there. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but he did what he needed to do. And now Tyler needs to do what he needs to do, especially since this is his last opportunity. And shoot, he played played like it was his last opportunity. Now, the thing is, he don't got the talent that Jordan got. But what he does have is a hard work ethic. And not only that, he knows what he can and cannot do. He's not going to try to, impress the coaches by making plays that Jordan was making. He's not as mobile as he is. So he's not even going to try to attempt to do the crazy stuff, the Pat Mahomes type of plays that Jordan was making. But he is going to step back in that pocket, deliver some dots. And that's exactly what he was doing out there. As when we was at the 50-yard line, he put me on a streak route at the slot. And I got open down the field, and he put that ball right where he needed to, and we got the touchdown to extend our lead to a 10-point game. You could tell he was feeling that at this point, but he might have been feeling it just a little bit too much. Because on his next drive, basically his last drive of the game, he looked a little bit too desperate. And it's been a defensive game. The defense been getting stops. It's still 20-10 right now, and he was really trying his hardest to get down the field, score a touchdown, but it shouldn't have happened this way, because with the running back on a wheel route, got down the field. He thought the running back was going to be able to outrun the DB, but instead, that ball fell right into the DB's hands. And after that play, after looking at the coaches' expressions on their face, I could already tell they ain't like what they just saw. Because Tyler was just looking good the drive before, but he just looked real desperate on this play, and they ended up giving the ball back to Wake Forest. And now, Wake Forest has an opportunity to bring the lead back to 3 points. And with that being Tyler's last opportunity to prove why he should be the QB1, it really wasn't looking good for him, but hey, it's all up to Jordan in the fourth quarter to really lock this in. And well, Wake Forest did end up scoring another touchdown to bring the lead back to a 3-point game. And now Jordan gotta, secure this dub. And so Jordan coming out here knowing exactly what he needs to do, started building up a drive. Now Wake Forest started to change up their defense a little bit, so it got a little bit harder. But he still got legs. He's real mobile, so he decided to start using his legs a little bit more, getting around the pocket, great pocket presence, everything, picking up yards every single play. And it was like after every play, you could already tell just looking at the coaches' faces that they was loving what they were seeing from Jordan. But now, getting even closer to the red zone, it's now 3rd and 7. But there was no worries. That boy Elijah on a corner route found him right there, sideline dot, toe drag swag for the first down. And now, in the red zone, it's time to finish the job. And I ain't gonna lie, we was all locked up in the red zone, but Jordan knew exactly what he needed to do. Got around in the pocket, used his legs, got out, and got a rushing touchdown to extend the lead back to 10. And man, when I tell y'all, this dude was out here just confident, just looked like he should be out here, like he's already the starting quarterback. And especially after this drive right here, it seemed like everybody already knew what time it was and that Tyler was gonna be on the bench for another season. And shoot, it was for sure locked in. After when the defense got to stop and Jordan would come back out on the field and throw a deep bomb to Elijah for a big play touchdown. The first play on this new drive for a touchdown. They extend the lead even further. And at this point, the game was over with. Not only was the game over with, but the position battle was over with as well. And it was pretty obvious that Jordan would be the starting quarterback for the season, which really sucked for Tyler. But hey, he had the opportunity against a freshman as well to prove that he could be the quarterback one after all the work he put in, but unfortunately for him, couldn't do it. He's probably going to be looking to transfer next season. Sure, I wouldn't blame him. Well, now that that's over with, finally know who our starting quarterback is, and now we can really get the chemistry up with the team, and that comes with the first practice. Well, at least Jordan's first full practice with the starters. And of course, in this practice, just going over things that should and should not be done, and going over how our game plan is going to be for the next game. Now, the thing is also, with our new quarterback and how much talent he has, with his arm, coach really wanted to build around that arm talent that he has, giving us even crazier plays than we had last year. More rollout plays, more plays where he can really show off how good he is. And in this practice, he didn't look like a freshman. And coach had the defense throw different type of coverages, even complex type coverages, and he was reading them pretty well. Taking check downs if he needed to, getting it over the top of the defense whenever he could. It was nasty. And now, after a very successful practice, we finally got our starting lineup for the rest of the year. First off, our starting quarterback, Jordan Jones, freshman quarterback out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Our starting running back, Cole Yarborough, redshirt junior out of Abington, Virginia. Then you got wide receiver 1, Elijah Meredith, sophomore out of Los Angeles, California. And then me, wide receiver 2 and slot, sophomore out of Los Angeles, California as well. And then we got Ashton Kozart at wide receiver 3, a redshirt junior out of Flower Mound, Texas. And lastly, for our starting tight end, senior Adam Moore out of Miami, Florida. And with the team we got, the chemistry we finna build, I feel like we're gonna do a lot. But only time will tell.